Hello, this is Stephanie McDuffie, and today I will be talking about ethics of standardized testing and evaluation. I am going to include information on school and teacher evaluations regarding standardized testing. This is a hot topic for many reasons, but I did want to start off with the benefits of standardized testing for our school and students. It does guide teacher planning and instruction. When we look at the scores from previous years, we are able to look at deficiencies or gaps in student learning that we can plan for the next school year. This is important because we want all of our students to achieve as much as possible in the 9 months that they are with us. It also gives stakeholders information on student proficiency compared to the state and nation. This is important because we are ranked nationally and within our school district. When explained correctly, this information can be very beneficial to parents, students, and community members that are helping make decisions regarding our school community. It also gives information to the district and the state to guide decisions regarding funding and resources. Many times, funding is determined by proficiency on these standardized test scores. It's not the only factor, but it is an important factor, especially in the state of Nevada when we look at Title I funding, Victory funds, Zoom funding, and other sources. Some of the drawbacks, and there are many hot topics regarding this, when we have teachers at underperforming schools that have to overcome the achievement gap. Many times our underperforming schools are schools with a high number of minority students and ELL students. Historically, these students have a further way to go to achieve proficiency. And sometimes when we use standardized tests, it does not reflect the growth that students make, because when they are so far behind grade level and they are in the red, to say that they are always going to be in the red, it doesn't always show the growth that they're making year to year. They may have grown 1 or 2 grade levels, but are still not at their current grade level. And it's hard to determine that on a standardized test results. Teachers in non-testing grades are evaluated on student proficiency. I'm a former primary elementary school teacher, and this was a hot topic for many of the primary teachers at my school, because we are evaluated on student proficiency when the students are 1 to 2 to 3 years outside of our classrooms. There's a lot that can happen within that time period, anything from home life to having ineffective teachers that can affect student proficiency. They may have left our classroom at grade level, but when they test on a standardized test, they may be not deemed proficient, and the growth is not there, by no fault of the primary teachers, even though we are evaluated that way. Schools and students in low socioeconomic income areas are compared to higher socioeconomic areas based on proficiency. We know that students in these low socioeconomic areas come in not reading, they come in not knowing the same things as higher socioeconomic students. They have a further gap to achieve in order to be proficient than many of those higher socioeconomic students. And it is definitely a drawback when looking at standardized testing evaluations. So some solutions are to set growth goals for each school based on past test scores. Growth is a great indicator on the things that you are doing in your school are making an impact on your students. Now, I understand that when you're at a high achieving school, the growth may not seem as drastic, so there should be a weighted formula that can be determined by the state or the district to set these growth goals. And we don't want to look at low achieving or at-risk schools and say that they need to get up to proficient in 1 to 2 years. It is just not possible. But if we set growth goals that are achievable but still need to be worked for, this is a better evaluation of what is happening at the school and with the teachers. We also need to really evaluate the value of standardized testing on teacher evaluations. Right now, in Clark County School District in the upcoming school year, 40% of our teacher evaluation is going to be based on student proficiency in testing. 20% of that on the state mandated test, and 20% on student learning goals that the district has set. It is important to look at the overall picture of standardized testing and the value that it really has on teacher proficiency. Sometimes when we look at standardized testing on teacher evaluations, we need to determine that teachers are not just teaching towards the test. That is the big, big drawback for including this. And then it is a slippery slope to merit-based merit-based salaries. And so these are just some examples of solutions that I have come up with. Thank you very much.